So this is Dissidia Operiana. Now I am going to be able to control it with my mouse and everything. This is, like I said, this is a free-to-play. Now this is every single character that's almost every single character that's ever been created in Final Fantasy 1 through 15, including Tactics, Zero, Tactics, and World of Final Fantasy. This is my main trio right here. I got Lightning, Celeste, and Rita. Celeste is kind of a build in progress because she does not have an EX or BT weapon. I'll explain what those are as we get through, as we walk through this. But I'm gonna pull up Lightning for now. Now, we'll tell you one thing right now. Lightning is extremely overpowered in this game. She is the first one I leveled up. I have her almost maxed out. I have I have her equipped with my only ultimate weapon I have, which has to be supplemented 5 times. In order to do that, it's almost impossible in this game. You literally have to dedicate yourself to this game like constantly just to do that. So this is the character menu for your party, and just to show you how many characters there are in this game, and this also includes all the bosses too. So I mean, I'll just scroll down, and I don't even have all the characters either. Okay. So this is like all the characters, and then for my Final Fantasy 6 peeps, I got Mog. This version of Mog is actually from Final Fantasy 6. All right, I have to click and drag to do this, and I got Shadow there. You'll notice some faces here from past Final Fantasies. We got Vivi from 9. Let's see. Of course, we have Agris from Tactics is here. And of course, you got Seymour from 10. Titus from 10, of course. Gamara from 10. Lulu from 10. You see, not many. And of course, you also have the bosses. You also have X-Death is available as a character, as a playable character in this too. There's Fang from Final Fantasy 13. Come on, scroll up. And of course, you got Sarah, but Sarah uses a bow in this game as opposed to a sword in 13 sometimes. There's Gao. There's Kefka, so you can actually have Kefka as your character if you want to. You make him a little more goofier in this one. There's Strago as well. Kane from Final Fantasy 4. There's Cyan. There's Sabin. Locke. Now this is Final Fantasy 1. It's the Warrior of Light. They use the actual fighter class for that one. Because in Final Fantasy 1 you could pick what you want to begin with. Then you got Ferris from 5. There's Edgar from 6 as well. Of course, Garnet. Garnet's another good one. She's Final Fantasy 9. She's going to be my alternate support that I have, along with Rosa. Rosa is actually my second most powerful character I have for this game. She's got a lot of healing ability, a lot of sap ability, and she can do a lot of AoE damage. So she's actually very, very good in this game. Doesn't have a BT weapon, though, so that kind of holds her back a little bit. Versus Rita doesn't have a BT weapon either, at least I don't have it. But she's actually one of my top... She's my second most powerful one, I think, on my roster. This morning, I actually got Garland's Burst. This is the boss from Final Fantasy 1. I actually got his best weapon you can get on him this morning. It's like, oh, I'll just roll just random, and I got his burst weapon, just randomly. So I built him up all morning, getting his armor like that, but I'll walk through some of it. So basically, you can get characters several different ways. You could play the regular part of the game, go to quests. You can do a lot of different things. You could play basically the regular part of the game, which is this board right here, and you progress through left to right. For each chapters, you can get characters that way. And now there's 3 different acts. Now, when I originally played this, it was only just 1 act. There wasn't these 2 other acts. So There's a lot of story that you can play, and inside each one of these, like here, I'll go to Act 2, the one I'm working on right now. I can't click on it, unfortunately. Okay. Click on chapter. Okay, I can click on a chapter. It actually plays on a nice video of dialogue for the thing, and you can also put auto on so it walks through the whole thing. So we have Noelle, who I think is from Final Fantasy. I'm gonna butcher this. Probably 14, I think. There's a lot of oh no, actually no, I think it's from 13 actually. Oh, and the voiceovers are in Japanese, unfortunately. There's no English voiceovers for this. And they also have music in the background, which is actually pretty nice. Yeah, but these video takes are very, very long, actually. They're not this laggy. It's very smooth on the phone, I will say. I'm just porting this over from my phone, streaming it from my phone to my computer. So it makes it kind of laggy, unfortunately. But we'll skip the rest of this for spoiler's sake. Noel Kress. Cool. I think I already had him, but whatever. Oh, I don't. Oh, okay. I guess this is fifth row, second level. So here we have the map that you progress through. Apparently, I did click on Act 2. I didn't mean to do that. So I might have just picked up a new character, but I didn't mean to. But that's how you can pick up characters that way. Okay, here we go. Here's an example of the map, how you progress through. I can't, unfortunately, zoom out because I'm on the mouse clicking mode. But you start at a point here, and you kind of progress your way through around the map and complete these objectives and battles and stuff like that. I believe I'm at the point where I have to go to these stairs now. Okay, we'll show you a quick battle here. So I got you. So your team's on the left. You only have 3 characters you can choose from. Once you progress later on in the game, you can do what's called a call, or you can call one of your other allies to do 1 or 2 attacks worth. I don't have the option of doing 2 attacks yet. I only have the option of doing 1, so I'm still kind of newish to this game and all, but yeah. Man, that music's... Alright. You can also select to do automatic. You can have characters fight automatically if you want, which they would do very well with this, but I'm just going to control them just for this fight. And when you first buy this game, this is a very important tool. You have what's called receive support. You have an option of putting a character, one of your characters, any character you want, probably your strongest one, because that way people will want to pull from it. And you give the option of pulling that one character to help you fight with them. And you can add them to your party, and they'll fight with you. And that is actually Locke's alternate skin, actually, right there. So, and you can add them as a friend, and they can friend you back. So here's Marina Lee. Don't know who it is. But they just friended each other, so you can add them to the team, right there. And allows you to follow them if you want to keep trying to add them, like, periodically. I believe there's a cooldown. You can't use them every single battle. There's a cooldown in between where you can use them off and on, but it gives you so many different players to choose from. It really doesn't matter, and any little bit of help helps. And you also want to look for stats like plus BT, and if you click and hold on them, it'll give you the layout you want, and the higher the CP over here, the better that person's character is going to be, and they're really going to help you out. So just keep that in mind. Right? I'm not going to use them because I really don't need to, but I'm just going to show off these 3 characters. Now I have Celeste from Final Fantasy VI, Rita from Final Fantasy IV, and Lightning from Final Fantasy XIII. So when you hit pause up here, this allows you to pause the battle. There is no timer. It's not a constantly flowing battle. It is metered by a turn marker down here, so you know who's going to go next and what's going to go on with that. And when you pause, you can see how many waves there are. That's very important because you want to know when the boss is going to come up if you're fighting very big amounts of waves. And they could auto plus on, auto plus off, whatever. So, and if you die a certain wave, you can always restart from that particular wave you're currently on, and you actually don't get any penalties for it. If you die completely, and you want to start off right where you currently are at the boss's currently health, you take a I believe it's a 100 gem, which is real money currency penalty. Which gems are very easy to farm in this game. It's not that hard. You can do it for free. Where if you just want to start the whole wave over, you do have that option to just restart the wave from that particular wave beginning, and it actually costs no penalty to do that. So, right, so we're gonna go back here so we can see the. So this is the turn order right now. Again, it's a little bit laggy because we are dealing with, unfortunately, with porting over the phone, but it's completely smooth. Trust me, it's completely smooth on the phone. So we have Rita up. She's right here. And we're just going to do the Radiant Breath attack, where she summons her mother's dragon, and that breathes mist all over them, which is actually a water attack. There's elements. There's lightning, water, fire, dark, holy, wind, and earth, I think is ones, but not too many people have that. Of course, Rita goes again. We're going to show off another one. We're going to do summon Leviathan. It's another water attack. It's just an AoE attack that does damage to all of them again. And now we have lightning. Lightning is just ridiculous power. She does a lot of freaking damage, and the other part of hers is, and the reason why you want to get lightning as soon as possible and level up, because when you attack with her, there's one ability she has called Crushing Blow. So when you use that Crushing Blow, she takes out all the targets' brave, which is where you get the damage from, and she adds in the next 3 turns. So it gives herself 3 more turns to go from there. From there, you want to use Spark Strike into Army of 1, and then on the 3rd strike, you can go into your Burst Plus ability, which if you've levered her up all the way enough like I have, it allows you to do additional 7 more attacks, for a total of 11, for a total of about, 10? And usually you have one after that, so 11. You can do 11 attacks in a row with just her. So usually it follows up with Spark Lightning, but that's going to kill the opposite side one, because that is an AoE attack that does half the damage to the other targets. And because we're fighting at such a low level, it's just going to kill you. It's just going to kill the other one. So this is how you get gems. You every time you clear a stage, you get 100 gems worth. And if you're on hard mode, you also get all the normal gems as well. So you get 100 gems for doing normal mode and 100 gems for doing hard mode. But if you haven't done normal mode yet, you get the normal mode gems as well. So you actually get 200 gems. So yeah, it's not really that hard to farm these gems, because all you do is just clear a world and just move on. All right. So we click next. It clears out as complete, and we'll clear off our path, and we'll do another fight. But we're going to get off of that for now. That's just I just want to show what maps look like. I don't know. Another important thing you want to look at is events. Actually, wait, let me go back. Character gain. Lost Chapters is an amazing thing once you get that unlocked, because this is where the majority of your characters are going to come from. These are all the characters that you can unlock by just going through these one-off story modes. And as you can see, there's Strago, there's Edward from this one. She's interesting to me, but I don't have any of her weapons at all. She seems like she's going to be another lightning kind of character, where she could just do multiple attacks at once. The one time I tried her out a little bit, and it's at lower levels, but she did have some flavor of lightning in her. And then here's Garland. I just picked up Garland the other day. And, yeah. And I got his BT weapon this morning, so that was really good. And you can get Kefka. This is where'd he go? Kefka. There's Kefka right there. So Final Fantasy 6 peeps, there's Kefka right there for you. And there's Kane's also in here. Auron from Final Fantasy 10. You also got, what's her name? I forgot her name. Oh, I don't want to click on it. But it also has the theme song for all the characters too, like this one. They're like kind of remastered versions of their songs. I don't think I've beat the hard mode version of this, have I? No, I haven't beaten the hard mode, so I actually get all the gems from refighting all these bosses again and stuff. So, so we can. I was actually working on a character right now. I was actually working on this guy. I think we're getting. I think about halfway through. For that, so I'm actually working on this one right here. So. But so there's a lot of things you do. So once you get characters for this, you want to go into events. Now these events are special events that gives you like a bunch of like items you can trade in for stuff and like that. That's the top section. The next section is the Mog's Gym. That teaches you how to play the game, novice, intermediate, strats. Just kind of teaches you how to play the game, so that's really nice to have. And it also gives you pretty good awards. Now this section down here is where you get crystals. Now there's black, red, blue, green, white, and yellow. Characters are aligned to a particular colored crystal. And on those kind of crystals, go to enhancement here, crystal strength, that gives you the crystal strength. And this is this indicator up here. So there's two ways you level. You get levels by just straight up experience, and there's leveling as in crystal levels. So let me go down to, let's just grab Setzer, I guess. Oop, where'd Setzer go? Never mind. Okay, we'll use you, because you're actually Van's kind of popular character people use. And Van actually he's dedicated to red. So it says red right here. There's also color here, but being partially colorblind, I have a hard time seeing the colors. And as you can see that I found up a lot of red. So I think I can level them all the way up to 80, almost. I can get them up to 73, 74, 75. So I can get them all the way up to 76, so almost 80 if I wanted to. But it tells you the indicator how many do you need at each level, and this shows you how many you have. I have a ton. This one you only need for going over to 90, from 80 to 90. So, and of course he only goes up to 80, so we don't need to worry about that. So that's another way of powering them up by getting more attributes like attack, power, go up here, like brave attack, HP, CP, which is amount of skills and attributes you can put on your character from the crystal, from equipment like that. There's a lot of, this game is really complex. I'm trying to break it down as best I can for you all on how this all works. I guess I can stay on this enchantments thing. Now there's the training boards. This is where you go into various Esper or summons areas, and you learn there's strats. Of course, Lightning being my best character. You should master all the boards. This is the best way to get a lot more base stats on your character. If you maxed out everything else, equipment, and the sword, the weapon, the armor, the artifact, the bloom, and everything else, the board is the last thing you really kind of do, and that buffs up your base stats up on each of your characters. You have to do each individual character, so it takes a while, and you need to farm up 6,500 points, which is experience points, but they convert it into training board points. It's the same thing. So in that aspect, there's also boosts you can use. They can boost your XP gain, your item gain, your guild gain, or all three at the same time. And the XP gain will apply to getting the points on the training board. So if you have a character that's ×2 already, because they're throughout the month or the weeks and like that, different characters will get different buffs and stuff for getting extra experience. So Garland right now is experience ×2. If you use a booster on somebody who has ×2, so it's 2 times, so plus 2 times again, you will get that ×4 amount. So if you get 20 XP, ×2 is 40, ×2 again is 80. So you get a lot of experience, and you can actually go up to ×3. And if you get, like, say, if you're doing like the treasure farm, which is you get a lot of gold because you spend gold to various things, When you buff equipment, when you convert things like that, you have to use gold as a buffer to do things. There's some instances where a certain creature will give you a ×3 off the encounter for the number of items and experience and gold you get. And if you do a booster that also has a ×3, so instead of getting, say, 300 gold, ×3 is 900 ×3 again. So that's 2,100. So using the buffs really, really help. They're not very expensive with the gems and like that. So if you want to pop a booster, it's kind of like World of Tanks. Pop a booster, get the extra experience and like that, and you move along pretty well. And you can farm in a very short amount of time quickly. And again, there's also auto mode on this, so you can just click into the match, just click auto. They'll fight one time, and then you have to reset by hitting retry, and it'll do it again. It'll automatically, as long as you have that check mark auto, it will do the automatic mode and like that. And then there's leveling up. You can get chocobo feathers for leveling up, but it's really pointless except for right at the beginning of the game. Right at the beginning of the game, it's useful because you need to have base characters to do it. But once you get to a point where you have that one big beefy character like Rita or like a Rosa or like a Garland who does AoE damage, unfortunately Lightning doesn't really do AoE damage in automatic mode. She does goes for the hardest hitting single target fight thing ability ever when she goes on automatic mode. So you want to grab a bunch of characters that are that do AoE. Just grab one, then grab 2 characters at level 1. Go farm gold at level 50. Your AoE character can farm that whole entire thing. And your 2 level 50s, if you get that bonus creature that gives you the ×3, and you have a ×2 or ×3 buffer on as well, you get from 1 to level 50, which 50 is the cap unless you use the crystals to buff you all up to 70, 80, or 90. You can go from 1 to 50, that maxed out part, in one fight if you get that one creature. So 1 crit AoE, 2 characters, boom, 1 to 50, 2 over. And every time you hit every time your characters hit certain levels, every 10 to 15 or so levels, you get 100 gems currency, which is real money currency for hitting those parts. And so if you do a 50, I think you get 7 or 8 of them. That's 700 or 800 gems of real money currency that you get just for leveling up. And all you did was fight one gold battle, which also you get a bunch of gold. You get 200,000. You get 200,000 gold out of it if you get that one creature thing. So and that one creature does pop up a considerable amount versus other things you would think. So we have enhanced realize. That's how you buff your characters like that. I'll get that in a minute. View and sell. The only thing you ever really sell is if you have a weapon that you already buffed to max and you rolled it on the slot machine. I'll get to the slot machine later. But if you already maxed out the weapon, it'll have a little check mark on its little picture. And the way you can sell it, when you sell it, you can sell it for a particular item. Once you get 4 of those items, you can apply 4 of those to get to limit break the weapon. You have to limit to break the weapon 3 times, which means you need 4 copies of the weapon to max out that weapon. And every single weapon and armor has other abilities. Yeah, I told you this is a very complex and layered game. So, refine, which refines some higher end gear. Cast and supplement, that is the ultimate weapon stuff, which I haven't really gone into too much except for that one sword I got. I actually have enough to buy a couple of them for my characters, but I'm just waiting to see who's going to come out on top, because my favorite 2, Rita and Rosa and Celeste, none of them have BT weapons, which is the ultimate weapons for that particular character individually. They don't have a big weapon like that. In fact, Terra's I haven't even seen yet, which Terra does have one, which I think she turns into her Esper form and bombs everything with Ultima. So, and you have summon sections, which is by an essence. That one buffs your summons because you can do a summon inside the battle. You can summon that target and you can get a little buffs off that. An illusion board is the training boards up here. That's where you go and get the points and the items to buff your summons and also buff your own characters to the training board. You still following me? All right, now we can go to the draw and shops. This is the money part of the game. Every single morning, you get one free draw. There's usually about 2 or 3 campaign draws going at once. I've never heard of her. Shriloda, never heard of her. She's from Crystal Chronicles. And we have Ragnarok for, and this is his big weapon. That's Zack for Final Fantasy VII. This is the one I was pushing a lot of, and I ended up getting Zamato for Garland. I actually got the Alcade for Orin as well, so I actually got both their weapons. So, but his is a lesser one. It's the LD, not the BT. The weapons go from I'm gonna get this wrong, but it's 15 CP, 30 CP, 70 CP, 90 CP, and then the BT, which is like 120, and then there's the Ultima weapon, which is like 150 levels. So those are the numbers that you say and use. The only exception to the rule was Cloud, of course, because when I first started playing, Cloud was a special buy where you could just buy him outright, and you can buy like a bunch of his gear straight up without having to roll for it as much. And but he has multiple 20 or 30 levels CP weapons, and that's because it's Cloud. You know how it is. So, but you can also get free tickets. You get these free tickets through just completing quests and missions like that. You get them for free. But if you get the 10 draw this way, you're not going to be guaranteed a special gold weapon. You get blue or gold. Gold's good. Blue is just bad. So you get 10 draws of that, but you're not guaranteed of a gold draw. If you do the multi-draw, you're always guaranteed of a gold item, plus you get an additional one for free. So you get the 10 draw, plus you get the additional one, which is always guaranteed a gold item, which is a 5-star or better, which is the weapons you're looking for. And you also get 20 of these coins up here. So after you roll these like multiple times, and I can't get into it, there it goes. You can actually, if you still haven't gotten it after doing this, like whatever 50 divided by 2 is, 25 times. So if you've rolled this 25 times and you still haven't gotten the BT weapon, as long as you haven't spent any of them, you can just buy it straight up. And then you can just buy these items straight up that way. Or if you did get the items, like I got all of them. See, this is check mark. I have held one. This one's check mark, which means I got it. Oh, because it's a plus. I have the plus version. I realized it. That's why it's not there. So you see I have all of them already. So what you can do at that point is you can roll them into the power stones, and these power stones is what you can limit break to buff the weapons up with. So yeah, like I said, it's complex as hell. And then the other two ones are going on is Roxanne from World of Final Fantasy. Never even heard of her. There's Zack's weapon again. So whoever the main character is, Zack, which is Zack right now, he'd be in all of them. And you got Mog's EX weapon. It's the Radiant Lance, which I don't even think is in Final Fantasy VI. I haven't even heard of it. Might be the Aura Lance actually, but yeah. And you got, for some reason, Steiner's weapon, which is kind of weird. And of course, you can buy gems like that for money. Now, this is steep, I will say. It is very steep. In American money, it's like $37 a pop when you want to buy stuff, so it's really expensive. I do not do it myself very much at all. I think I've done it twice. Just because I wanted Lightning's gear, Lightning's outfit, armor, plus and I got the gems for it for free doing it. But because Lightning is just ridiculous. There's other parts of this game that you have the intersecting wills, which I think is just harder mode of the characters gain section to get things. There's World of Illusions. This is where all those summons are. Of course, you got Shiva, Infrared, of course, Ramu, Leviathan, the brothers, who I don't know who that is. They're Minotaur brothers. Pandemonium, which I never even heard of. Diablos. Then you have Alexander, Odin, and Bahamut. So some of them are kind of new, some of them I don't know. There's also Mog, who only affects Terra, which is a little weird. So Mog is also a summon, but it only works for Terra. And there's also a Kokobo summon, which it's weird. You can't really buff them very well. So yeah. Oh, and you can also farm artifact pieces right here to buff your characters with. And there's also right now limited time as Carbuncle's Treasures. This allows you to help you buff your weapons and armors and artifacts and stuff like that. Because you need items to help buff it. So actually I was farming that earlier. And that's also another time when you want to pop your support items. And these are here, so you get the combo of double. These are all your doubles. And you can also have down here, you also got your triples as well, which are not as common as you can tell. Moving down the line, we have hunts. This is a brand spanking new thing that just came out. This allows you to get these Cactor items here, Cactor coins. And the only thing I will say that you want to use Cactor coins on is this EX token, because this allows you to buy EX weapons that you would need for characters you might have missed on rolls and stuff like that. The only problem with that is you need 20 of them, or 10 or 20 of them, to just get one of the, just to get that one weapon. So, and this reloads once every about 15 or 16 hours. So, and 3 of them gives you 6. So 3 times, so you get 3 times 2, so you get 6 total to start off with. Then you only get 1 every 16 hours after that. And you need how many coins to get one thing? You need 30 of these to get one thing. So that's 24 times 16 hours. So I'll pull up our handy dandy calculator here. If my new computer has a calculator, who knows? Hey, it has a calculator up. Here you go. So if I go to my calculator, so we go 24 times 16 hours. So that's 384 hours per 30 to get 30 of these things. That's just for one EX thing. Now, if I go to the item exchange, just to make sure I get the EX conversion correctly. That's the exchange there. EX right here. Actually, I want to go up to the other one. That's not the one I want. I don't want dimensions in. I want this one. So, yeah, you need 10 of them. So, that's just to get one. So, it's 384 just for one. 384 hours to get 30 for one. So we need to multiply that by 10 again. Just looking at 3,840 hours. So if we do the math for 3,840 hours divided by 24 hours in a day, that's going to take you 160 days just to get one EX weapon. About. And that's if you start off by just doing 6 immediately. And then waiting 16 hours a piece to get the rest of them after that. Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, I don't like that. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like that personally. 160 days? That's a 5 and a 3rd months. So it's going to take you 5 months, 5 months and 1.5 weeks if you get on every single day and do one of the hunts. It's going to take you 5 months to get that. And as you can tell, I only had 2 of these so far. And that's because I got, there's a benefit thing that you get, like, I got 6 of them out of 6 of those tokens out at one try. So that kind of cut the gap a little bit. And And granted, this hunt thing is really easy. See, it's still got another 5 more hours before I generate another one. I mean, I'll just do it quick, just so because I'm here and sitting here. You can do it as a group. You can invite other people to do it, but I guarantee you nobody else is going to do it because you can just do it automatically. So I'm going to click solo. Again, it's not really this laggy in the game on the phone. It's just that way because I'm trying to port it over, unfortunately. And I've known blue stacks like that. This doesn't really work. But I'm just going to click automatic mode here. And she used her BT ability, which is G-Salt Drive, which I wish it wasn't so laggy because this ability is so crazy. Oop. See if that helped. Nope, didn't help. I tried. Probably gonna lose my connection to do this, but I'm on the wrong Wi-Fi here. Let me try to switch my Wi-Fi over. It's probably gonna be smoother now. I just crashed it by doing that. Oh no. Connect. There it goes. Yeah, I crashed the app, unfortunately. So I hope I got the reward for that. That sucks. I'm worried about you guys getting a better video and all, and did I get it? Did I get it? I don't know. Oh, what's the info? Dimensions End, Transcendence Tier... Oh, we get a preview of what's going to happen here. Dimensions End, Transcendence Tier 8. Rise Thursday, April 14th. We going further Dimensions and Transcendence with the next tier. Okay, cool. Alongside this event, a character's BT and LD weapons will be released. Okay, so it's not even going to tell us who the character is. That's a pretty mean looking monster we have to fight there. And look at that. Those are BT boosters right there. That's cool. So new character is going to get their BT and LD weapons. Those are huge weapons to get. Yeah, so this thing is starting to get really, really bad. I'm just going to check to see if I want to make sure I got the reward for that. No, it's not marked, so I think we got it. Nope, we didn't get it. Had another 16 hours to that now. Oh, man. Okay. But yeah, it's farming. So this is kind of a... This is a bit of a gacha game, I will say. Here, let me go to the player menu, the characters menu, because that's not as laggy. There we go. So I hope you want to try out. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy, there's various versions of Dissidia. There is the Records Keeper one. There is another one where it's action combat, kind of like a la Final Fantasy 13 kind of style. But if you like the old school Final Fantasies like that, this is the one I prefer. And I'm that kind of person. This is the one I prefer to play. And again, it's free. It's free to play. The upstart's going to be a little tough. Because there is... because it does take a while before you get a decent character. And when we go to... Now, they do have it. There's a good site. There's a Dissidia... DissidiaDB.com is the database where you can see all the characters and everything for this. And they post them in order. So you actually start with Warrior of Light, from Final Fantasy 1, Evie from Final Fantasy 9, and Rem, who's from Type O, which is, if you never heard of Type O for Final Fantasy, that is their My Hero Academia meets Final Fantasy almost, kind of thing. And you also get Tifa and Cloud very early on. They're like they're the fifth and sixth characters you get. Is which Cloud's very good. Cecil's okay. You actually get his Dark Knight. You actually get the progression of Final Fantasy IV. Spoilers. You get started with his Dark Knight, and as you progress through the game, you actually get his Paladin version. So Cecil's actually in this twice. There are 145 characters in this game total, and I don't even have them all. And you actually get my Final Fantasy VI crew. Terra is the first Final Fantasy VI character you get, I believe. And you get her, she's the 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17th. She's the 17th character you get, and she does have a ultimate BT plus weapon. So she's actually a very good character. Just for some reason, for me, it just doesn't feel that great, honestly. And then the Final Fantasy VI characters just pile in between Shadow, Setzer, Locke, and Edgar. They just kind of, and Cyan, they just kind of pile in, and Sabin, they kind of pile in immediately after that. But the characters you want to get is Lightning, and I don't even know when Lightning even comes in, honestly. But as soon as I got her, I was like, yep, this character is overpowered. Like, I don't have Pain. I don't have Shanique. I don't have Promptu. I don't have, I don't have Pain, which is kind of crazy. I thought I had Pain, but I don't. I'm working on Kemlanaut right now. Leo, I forgot to mention, Leo was actually in this game from Final Fantasy VI. And the last two most recently released were Core Leonis and Sid Reigns. I don't know whose BTLD weapons can be coming out next, because I know that the ones on this list I'm looking at already have them already. So it could be Terra, because I don't think Terra's the only one I have not seen in-game with a BT weapon. So it could be Terra. What's her? Does she have an LD? She does. It's Chaos Wave in Trans Ultima, which Trans Ultima is a 10-hit magic attack and HP attack plus an HP attack delivered twice. So it's a 20-hit BR attack plus HP attack. And then Chaos Wave is a 6-hit BR attack plus HP attack delivered 2 times. And you also get extends on buff by a duration of 2 turns. Loving Heart. While Loving Heart is active, turn rate becomes instant. Does not add to turn count. Does consume turn during burst mode. Okay, so kind of like the Lightning ability where you get to go again automatically. And also, if you have Loving Heart active, it raises your magic attack output and increases the HP damage you deal, and increases your Brave based on cumulative Brave damage dealt exceeded. Your EX base, and also the EX weapons in this game is the limit breaks go like for Terra it's for Locke was Marriager, for Terra it's Riot Blade. It's their like low health attack is what they call for the EX weapons. It's Riot Blade, which is 3-hit BR attack plus an HP, and BR damage boosted with greater difference between max and current HP. It's not a very good EX ability. Like, all her abilities is meh. Like Meltdown and Meteor is kind of meh. Riot Blade's meh. But her Chaos Wave, which only has 3 uses of, which I'm sure you increase use if you level up the weapon and all. And Trans Ultima are very good. So that's how that works. Okay. I just learned something new. Ha. All right. So yeah, maybe I can like pop up this thing on the fly here. I'm gonna try here. Let's see, browser FFDOO DB. Oh, I need to copy paste it. Come on. All right, cool. Yeah, bear with me a second here, guys, while I try to expand this out here. Oh, I don't have the right. Hold on. 800 by 900. There we go. All right. Bear with me, guys. There we go. That's what we're talking about. All right. So we're going to expand this all the way out. We'll trim this up. Cool. All right. Doing this on the fly. Oh, but it doesn't... Oh, man. Okay, hold on. That's not what we wanted. We just wanted to capture the... Not display capture, window capture. FFDOO DB. Yes, that's what we want to capture. Go to Windows 10 mode. Do not capture the cursor. Aha. All right, that's what we wanted to do. There we go. Okay, so what we have here is the, this is Terra. So we have various weapons that you get. I'll start at the bottom, work my way up. I'll just go start with armor. So armor, there's 3 forms of armor for characters. You have the base armor, which if you do that, which if I go back to the, hold on. Hold on, let me fix something here. So if I go back to this real quick, so where'd it go? There it is. So if I go back to this real quick, shit, what was I saying? Oh, if you do the Lost Chapters, there it is. You actually get their armor twice and their base weapon once. So you get a little bit of a start on their gear and like that for that purpose. So let's go back to the page now. So on this page, you get that base gear. So you get 2 of these. Now you actually, I'm sorry, no, I actually get 2 of these. I'm sorry, 2 5-stars. You get 2 5-star base armor, and you get another 5-star. You get their very first 5-star weapon. If you do the Lost Chapters, which is why doing Lost Chapters is a lot better, because you actually get some of their gear. Now, you get the base level gear. Now, every time you do this, you need 4 pieces of that gear, or a special item that mimics the limit, what's called limit breaking, to max out that armor. Once you max out this armor, it allows you to buy this armor, which you can do in the shop. So I'm gonna go back to this again, which you can do in the shop for trading special items. So we go item exchange here. And it's actually kind of, and you don't really trade armor much, so I usually have a lot of these armors. So I got like 400 of these things. So you go to an exchange shop. Now, if you wanted to, come on. So you go to exchange shop. So say you're let me grab Terra. So let's talk about Terra here. So you can adjust this by which game mode. So you see these are all the Final Fantasy games that are in here. So you got 1 through 15 plus Tactics, 0 plus Crystal Chronicles, and World of Final Fantasy. So we're going to switch over to 6 since that seems to be our jam. So we'll only look at the 6 characters. So this is the first tier. Once you finish this tier to get these 3 gems and max it out, then you'll let you buy this one, which is 4 times the amount. So each one of these are 5 versus each one of these are 20. Okay. And once you get to that point, then you can what's called realizing, which you then get to their next stage, which is the plus version, which gives you more stats. And once you complete that one, then you can get that gives them 6 stars. That's a 6-star armor. And then you can get up to the 6-star armor, which is like for this one is Terra's Dress, which raises your stats and it can increase the amount of brave, which is the more brave you have when you do your HP attack, that amount of brave you have is your damage you deal, but that brave is also your shield when you attack. So if you're targeted, you don't want to have some of that brave on you, so they'll hit the brave and not the HP. There are abilities that bypass the brave and hit you with HP, but yeah, that essentially gives you a shield. Then you can see it busts the 9,999 quad 9s. It moves it up to 11,498. Then you get to the weapons. Now, very, very few characters actually have a base weapon that's what's called a white weapon or tier 4-star weapon. Very few characters have it. Terra just happens to be one of them, which is the Rune Blade. Then you get the Falchion, which is the tier 1 blade. Now, again, if you do the Lost Chapters on some of the characters available there, that will give you the ability to have the first one of these. Then you still have to buy 3 more to limit break it for the next one. The next one is the Enhancer for her, which is the Meteor Chant. Then you have Fey Maiden's Sword, which I never even heard of that one. It says after using Meltdown Chant or Magic Meltdown Chant, deal Meteor Plus or Magic Meteor Plus. I have no idea what that is. I've never even seen this one. So, and then you have Organic X, from Final Fantasy VI. This is her EX weapon, which is the Riot Blade ability, which you can buff that one up. Then you have Soul Saber, which is her LD weapon. So you go from first ability weapon, second ability weapon, then you have an assisting weapon, I guess, which is the Fey Maiden Sword, which I haven't even seen that one before. Then you get the EX weapon, which for those in Final Fantasy VI or whatever, that is your low HP attack, is usually where that comes from. Then you have your LD weapon, which is a 3 or 4 ability, 3 or 4 use ability that you can use. That's usually like an AoE attack or decently buffing attack. And then you have the big one. Oh, then you have the EX plus one, which buffs the EX abilities even more so. Which basically by the end of this one, so it starts with Riot Blade, which I think it was like a 3 attack plus an HP thing. But if you bust it all the way up to realize it and get 3 more, one breaks again. Now it now hits 8 times. And now it hits 8 times instead of 3 times. HP plus plus becomes dual cast, which means you hit 6 times BR Tech plus HP attack plus 6 hit magic attack BR plus. So you actually attack twice with your regular HP attack, which I guess if you bounce that, if you put these in, if you use them in the right order and you're in burst mode, you can actually do a lot of damage with this. So you build that one up, and then you get the last one, which is the BT weapon, which is the ultimate weapon as well. Then there's an extra ability one. These are Bloomstones. You can get the Bloomstones on every single one of your characters. You just have to be a certain level to actually use this one. And it's just an ability you get that is a setup ability that makes your character go again, usually. So this one, for instance, is Mega Boost Up, which means it boosts all the magical effects on your whole team. So you usually start with this move before you do everything else if you have this one available. So you see, there's a lot of equipment that you have to go through. You get all these armors, and you have all the weapons you have to do. Of course, you have twice the amount of weapons you have to do armors. That doesn't include the artifacts that you also have to do, which you want to use the Edojas only. Do not use any of these. Don't even bother. Focus on doing the Edojas and buff those up, which gives you all these maxed out abilities, and actually it buffs some of those weapon abilities as well. For instance, Mighty Meteor, increase the BR damage dealt with Meteor Plus by 10%, so increases your damage output. And of course, you have board passives. So I guess I even done this part up here. So yeah. So there's a lot of stuff, and this is all the skills that just Terra alone can use. So this is a nice site, and I'll pull up Lightning just to show her. And she actually has 3 different outfits. This is the one I have on her, which is her Final Fantasy. She has Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 13 1. This is Final Fantasy 13 2. We're at the tail end of it. And this is Final Fantasy 13 3, Lightning's Return. This is the outfit that she uses for that. But I didn't really care for it very much. I like this one. But if you go to her abilities, like, they're insane. So basically, you open up with Crushing Blow, and if you click on them, you expand them out, and you open Crushing Blow into Sparking Strike, which buffs Army of One, because Spark Strike gives you the Ravager, and if you are affected by Ravager with Army of One, you actually get Army of One Plus, which means it does extra damage in that mode. And after that, on your third attack, because of the Crushing Blow, you actually go into your G-Salt Drive Plus, because she's actually a BT Plus ability user, which gives you another 7 more attacks. So you get into that, which allows you to use Army of One. But because you have the Ravager mode, it's Army of One Plus again. Then you go Sparking Strike a second time, which buffs your Flourish of Steel, which turns into Flourish of Steel Plus. Use Flourish of Steel a second time, which turns back into Spark Strike into a plus. So you Spark Strike Plus again. And you finish off with Crushing Blow. Now, once again, when you're in BT mode, you can use all these attacks and stuff. It doesn't count to your total. You do Crushing Blow again, but when you do Crushing Blow, it adds the more attacks on the back end when you get out of burst mode. And of course, you automatically are forced to use the G-Salt Dive, which is a 10 attack plus 2 HP delivered twice. So it's a 20 hit thunder attack plus HP attack damage. It averages to about 140, 1.4 million damage when I use it. And after using all these abilities and like that, I can do almost 3 million damage. Yeah, the numbers in this game are high. And then after using all those abilities, it allows me I can actually attack again. So you can either do Crushing Blow to loop around this again, or you can go into G-Salt Dive, so you could do a second burst move, just the burst part of it. So you can actually do another 10 hit times 2, HP times 2 kind of thing. This is why Lightning is broken in this game, because you can just sit on her and she can just rotate. Now, Crushing Blow, you can only use it 4 times. So you can only loop this 4 times, 4.5 times really, when you do it in the right order. But yeah, Lightning is ridiculous. And then you pair her with Rita, who increases weakness damage. So, and Crushing Blow actually gives the weakness to Lightning to whatever you're hitting, and the Rita increases that amount from there. And then you add, well, I'm hoping someday will be Garnet, who Garnet also does thunder damage. You can also supplement on top of that thunder damage that's already being weakened by Lightning, the character. So yeah, you can see where there is some cohesiveness with some of these characters. And for some weird reason, all the female characters are seem to be the better ones. There are some good like male characters. Like I see a lot of Locks. I see a lot of like Vans and like that you can use from people. Cloud, of course, has all the extra weapon that you can use and everything. But for some reason, for me, like, and you can see this in the game here, is that all my top characters are all the female character, are all like the big name like female characters from their games. And even just my party alone, Rita, who's the summoner for Final Fantasy IV, Lightning, who is the main character, titular character of Final Fantasy 13, 1 and 3. Not necessarily 2, because 2 was her sister that was looking for her. So Lightning does come in at the end of the game. But yeah, it's Lightning, it's Rita, it's Rosa, it's Les. These are actually my best ones, even though I have these guys kind of mixed in. These 4 girls are the best ones I have. Squall's okay. He's for Final Fantasy 9. I'm sorry, not 9. 8. He's okay. I haven't figured out. There's an ability he has where he can repeat his LD ability. After every time a character hits, when one other character hits, he automatically does his LD ability behind you as supplemental damage. I haven't figured out how that triggers yet, so I have to look into that. But Celeste is cool. That she has a taunt ability, so her runic ability from the original game turns into like a more of a taunt, and she instead of healing with magic power, she heals with Brave instead, the BRV. And she also has an AOE ice damage because her base magic is ice, so she uses ice. Some of her attacks are ice based damage attacks. And every time any of the enemies use their ability to fight, she has what they call a trap move, which means for 4 turns, when the enemy makes an attack, that ability triggers and hits all the enemies together and again. So that's really nice to have. And then Garnet has an ability for every 4 or 5 attacks. It just has this like lightning bolt of arcane divine magic blast all the enemies every like 4 or 5 like turns, I guess. So that's why I want to have these 2 plus Garnet. I missed out on the Garnet stuff, unfortunately. I kind of when I just started it, I missed her stuff. So I am trying to get Garnet stuff going here. I can't use the scroll button. Come on, there we go. So I am trying to get her stuff going. But yeah, I wish she was better. Just maybe when she gets, maybe this is her stuff that's coming out this coming week. And if that's the case, then maybe they'll buff the hell out of her and she'll be really, really good. Cecil's decent. Cecil's pretty good. I mean, he helps like keeps the party going. Ferris can be very, very good. She has a lot of potential. Edgar's okay. I see a lot of potential out of him as well. Locke does a lot of damage and kind of combo-y though, so he's kind of tricky to use. Theodore, I've seen some Theodores out there that he can do healing, attack, damage all at the same time with the same ability. A lot of people use Cyan as a call because he does a ridiculous amount of damage when you call him in. Sith Cat is another call one because he buffs the whole entire party when you do it. I actually use Rosa because Rosa has prayer, which means she heals your entire party, maxes out all your brave for your entire party, and casts re-res, which from Final Fantasy VI people, that's basically life 3. She casts life 3 on the entire party over the course of 10 turns per character for each of those characters, 10 turns. So it does go away pretty quick on Lightning, because Lightning goes to attack so fast, he just drains the whole re-raise thing. But basically, if any of your characters dies, they'll automatically be re-raised back to low HP. And then if you hit Pray again, or your LD move actually does it too, puts 5 rounds of it on. But if you use her Pray again, she heals the entire party all the way up to max, and reapplies that life 3 re-raise again for another 10 turns. So it makes your party invincible almost to almost never die, so it's always fun. And her EX ability is pretty good. It does a lot of damage. It does a big AoE, like draining BR before it hits a target and hits like 3 times. So she was actually buffed frequently. But I'm going to do it. That's going to do it for me. I hope you try out this game again. It's free to play. It's called Dissidia, Final Fantasy Dissidia Opera Omnia. It is from the Dissidia part there. I'm just going to bring this database thing down again, back to the home page of it. Let me click on this part. There it is. Back on the home page. Here's the characters. Here's all the characters in the game. Yeah, there's a lot. Like I said, there are 149, so we are one short of 150, so it has about the same amount of characters as you would find in League of Legends. And this is just all the characters from the Final Fantasy world. Including the twins from World of Final Fantasy, but they're in chibi form. So it's kind of weird, where all these characters are normal. But yeah, here they're Lan and Ren. So they're like little tiny form, but they also have a BT weapon, so I guess they're pretty good. So that'll do it for this. If you want to check it out again, this is a nice database. They are rebuilding it a bit. But it tells you the gear, some bestiaries, all the characters, what their layout is, and everything. So it's a really helpful tool. So again, that's DissidiaDB.com is the base site, and you go to characters, and you can see all this. The events are a little delayed. They moved it somewhere else. They moved it to a new site, which is Events Dissidia, and as you can see, it's not there. So they are still building and rebuilding, and I might have abandoned it for a while now. All right, guys,